I'd like to believe him because he's my friend and I want to believe him. I don't want to have to fucking peg you down, Brandon. The fuck is that? It seriously stressed me out, and just thinking about it stressing me out right now.
Seriously, just fucking...
No, I
everything, take it all out. Fuck.
you.
Take the whole thing out, take it all out.
Trust me, I wasn't up here to fucking bullshit.
I know, dude, I'm just saying, man, if you're fucking doing that shit in my house, I seriously gotta keep you out of these.
Welcome back to another episode of Story Time with yours truly, Mr. Brandon Novak. When I look back and think about between the infamous scene of me and Ryan Dunn, where it takes place in CKY3, I believe, and he confronts me in the garage and he checks my pockets, he empties my pockets, he wants to see if I have any drugs on me, and when he tells me to empty my pockets, I pulled out a needle and a spoon, and he takes them and smashes them, and he throws me into this like cardboard box against the wall. And you know what most people don't know is Bam would place cameras throughout the house and just film to get these unexpected shots just like that one that took place. You know, best friend / heroin addict who's withdrawing in his house, and for the sake of getting good footage and for the sake of trying to decipher through all my bullshit. Dunn was always like a really good friend to me. He was always really nice to me. He seemed to be really compassionate and sympathetic towards me, and more so my addiction. And ultimately would like try to really love me throughout a very unlovable process.
Brad, you were in the fucking woods twice.
And there were like different levels to that. Like he would start off being really angry, you know, and I think that really displays the different levels of emotion when you're dealing with somebody that you love that's caught up in active addiction. The time, but looking back now, was so powerful. And it really speaks volumes when it talks about addiction or alcoholism as such a deep-rooted situation that runs its course throughout anybody connected with the addict or alcoholic. And everybody suffers at the hands of the person who's directly affected, unfortunately. And that was one of the really good things that Bam was always good about documenting, is where I'm sleeping on the couch and I'm like shaking and twitching. I was sleeping, I was withdrawing, literally on his couch. It's just so tough because at the time I couldn't understand what the big deal was. What's the fuss about? Like, I was so consumed by the problem that I was incapable of seeing the reality of how much I was not only destroying myself, but other people's lives that cared about me. It's so crazy to think that what we were doing then was not only powerful then, but it seems even more powerful now. It took me a long time to address is that Dunn never got a chance to see me sober. And I remember one morning I woke up to go get my mail. They did mail call, and I walked out of my cell and I went to grab my mail. I'll never forget it. I grabbed my mail and I was walking back to my cell, and I was on the top tier and I was walking up the stairs, and somebody stopped me and he said, "Yo, did you hear what happened to your boy? The guy from Viva La Bam."
One of the actors who did stunts in the well-known Jackass movies has died. 34-year-old Ryan Dunn was killed yesterday near Philadelphia after his Porsche went off the road and burst into flames.
Unfortunately, when that took place, I was incarcerated. So like, I wasn't able to be around my friends. I wasn't able to mourn his death in a whatever proper fashion is. Fast forward, I finally get sober. And then I went to his grave, and I had a chance to see my buddy, and we sat down, and I sat down and we talked, and you know, I thanked him for always making my addiction a living hell. I loved him, and that's the behind the scenes story of the infamous shot of Ryan Dunn emptying my pockets and fighting me in the garage. I hope you enjoyed.